Hello, good evening, and welcome. My cuckoo clock tells me it's 8 o'clock, so it's time for Case the Catty. Hi, my name is Erica. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Victoria, British Columbia. If you are new to me, welcome, say hello. And tonight I am casing a beautiful butterfly set. It's actually a suite of products, so it comes with a stamp set, dies, embossing folder, some paper, and some little sequins so that you can actually make a shaker card with it. And I'm going to show it to you in the catalog so you can see it. I will show you the card we're going to be casing. Now, I was playing with this afternoon, and I came across some, I don't know, I'm not going to say difficult, but puzzling aspects of creating this butterfly card. But I found out ways around it. And so I'm going to share those tips with you. And once you get the tips, then it's relatively easy. Um, and I also will tell you about this, boo-boo I made. Um, and I'll try and make sure that you don't. I did it twice. I glued something in the wrong spot and I did it twice, which was weird. You'd think you'd learn the first time, but I was admittedly watching some other videos, and I guess I just wasn't thinking because I glue all the time. And anyway, I'll explain what I did and to tell you to avoid that. So welcome. I see Carol has joined us. Hi, Carol. Are you back from Mexico or are you still there? All right, so I'm going to turn my camera down or switch cameras to my desktop camera. And this is this starts on page 38 of our new spring mini. This runs it started at the beginning of January and will run till the end of April. It's got lots of beautiful springtime colors, springtime ideas, birthday stamp set, lots of birthday stamp set to start you off celebrating birthdays in the year. Some beautiful spring, lots of like yellows and greens, and there's just some really, really pretty papers. So if you don't want to get the whole bundle, you could certainly get the papers and use those with other stamp sets. There's a beautiful ocean themed set, and the colors are spectacular in here. There's even a stamp set that to me reminds me of when my daughter was little. She was, and I was in love with Peter Rabbit, and we had several videos of Peter Rabbit that were created in England, and they were just delightful. So this suite reminds me of that. If you've got little kids or grandchildren, it's just adorable. And it's got lots of gardening stuff in it as well, which is always fun. Yeah, lots of beautiful stuff in here. But tonight we're going to concentrate on beautiful butterflies. And it comes with this beautiful bokeh paper. Now, a lot of people are pronouncing this incorrectly. It's not bouquet. A bouquet is a bouquet of flowers. It's called bokeh. And it is actually a term used in photography. So when you photograph, say, in the rain, particularly at night, you will notice that there are kind of like spotlights on your film. And that's what bokeh is. It's where the lights kind of shine and they create these circles. So if you have sponge daubers, you can actually create your own bokeh effect. So you sponge one color and then you actually use some white ink as well. And you stamp some white dots in there as well, just random patterns. You'll see it in here. We've got just these random patterns. I'll come in with my camera, so hopefully you can see it. But it's pronounced bokeh, not bouquet. So you see, you've got color, and then you've got the white dots. What you can actually do is you could pick just a straight piece of cardstock in this color. So either this is Berry Burst, or this is probably Pool Party. I use the colored cardstock and then just use the white ink. You ink it up, stamp it off, ink it full strength. So do first and second generation stamping and you can create your own bokeh design. Okay, so this is the card I'm going to be making here, this one here. And the first time I made it, I didn't make it correctly. And I'll show you what I made. I mean, I think it works as a card, but it's not like this. And I'll show it to you right now so you can see. So this is the card I made. So this started out as a regular card base, a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch regular card base. But you see the butterfly, you know, the die doesn't come down to the bottom of the cardstock. So this card in the catalog is actually made starting with a 5 by 7 piece of cardstock. Now, we don't sell note card and envelopes anymore, but if you still have some, the note card and envelopes are perfect. Here I've got a very vanilla one that I pulled out. Let me just zoom back out again. So I pulled out we had a basic white and we had very vanilla note card and envelopes. They're already pre-scored and they measure 5 by 7. Okay, but you can make your own. Start with 5 by 7 and then score it in half at 3 1/2. And then you end up with the size that fits the die, okay, which I'm going to show you tonight. So I'll do a practice run on this one. Now, the key thing is do not fold it, okay? Don't burnish it, don't fold it. You'll score it. If you're making your own, you're going to score it, but you're not going to fold it yet, okay? So I'll just show you this, what I made. So I put a piece of the bokeh paper down and then I glued this extra butterfly on top. And the mistake that I made was when I was gluing it, I ended up gluing it to the top rather than gluing it to the bottom. So this is double now, which in a way is okay because it makes the flap a little more heavy. But anyway, that's the mistake that I made. So we'll try and avoid that again tonight. I did it twice too on here. So then you've got some other dies that I'm going to show you. So you've got the one die here. These are the dies. I love dies. These are the dies, and this is the die, this big one right here, which cuts out the card. Okay. So there is, these are all cut lines all the way around here, cut lines. These are cut lines in here. But right here on each side, I don't know if you can see that, right here and on this side, there's no cut line. So that's where the fold of the card is. This is the top of the card where the fold is. So these two areas here do not cut the cardstock. And that's what makes it maintain its fold, if you know what I mean. So I will show you on here. Now, another tip that I learned is that when you're placing, let me just move this catalog out of the way. Another tip to show you, or that I learned, is that, so as I said before, you're not going to fold this and you're going to score it, but you're not going to fold it. And you want to work on the, what I call the valley side. So there's a dip in here. You can feel it when you drag your nail over it. There's a valley there. And the mountain is on this side. So on the valley side is where you're going to position. Now, I can't zoom in enough. Well, maybe let's see if I can zoom in enough here. I hate this. It's always reversed. It's left, right. So I don't know which hand is doing what. It's really difficult to film. But anyway, right here, actually, I'll show it on this side. Right here, I don't know if you can see it. There's a little bump. It's a raised, it's like a score line, but it's a mountain score line. So this is a mountain. This is a valley down here. So you're putting the mountain on the valley. And you're going to position this on the card here. And you have to have really good lighting or better eyes than I have to fit it on there right. You're lining it up right on the valley. You won't really feel it go in the valley, but it's on the valley. Okay, and you'll notice at the bottom, the butterfly does overhang a little bit, but it cuts it, it doesn't cut off the butterfly bottom, is what I'm trying to say. So it hangs over, but doesn't cut it off. So you're going to position those lines on the valley. Now, you can tape it down if you want. I'm still not seeing it very well. Make sure it's centered on your card. It's right there. Okay, and then I'm going to just put some tape on here. Oh, okay. Now the other thing is when you run it through your machine, don't run it through this way because you're going to catch this huge straight edge and your machine will clunk. You want to rotate it and put it through with the bottom of the butterfly. So I'm going to go over to my machine and do that now. Okay, so this is what you end up with. Just get this die off of here. Okay, so here is this centerpiece just cuts right out. Okay, and then you need to cut off these pieces here on the sides. So see how the butterfly is perfect along the bottom. See how it cut it right to the edge at the bottom. You're going to get rid of all of this. You're just going to grab your paper snips and you're going to cut this to cut that off. Okay, and now you have your butterfly. And now you can fold it. So now you can fold it over. And you can get your bone folder out. And you can just burnish that. So there is your butterfly card. Okay. Now, the other thing I discovered after so I'll show you on this card here. After I cut out, so what I did was I did some stamping just straight on the butterfly on the card, on the front of the card, and it gives you these beautiful wing details on here. And it gives you another stamp that you can do all of these dots on here. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're just going to stamp a pattern on here. And then it has another die. This die here is a gorgeous die. It cuts all the pieces out. And this is the die that goes on the front. Okay, so that's how I got this. Is peach, the peach color, peach pie is it called? Can't remember. Okay, and then you have, there's a few butterflies in here. There are these little small butterflies here. This butterfly will cut out this butterfly on the stamp set. And then you've got a die that cuts out this little butterfly here. This die here cuts out this butterfly here. These are your little patterns. And then you've got a larger stamped butterfly that this die will cut out. Okay, so you can cut 3 different kinds of butterflies. And then you've got these little bodies here. Okay, now this body for the larger butterfly, as you can see, does not match the body of the butterfly on the card. So whoever designed this, I think, forgot that the body on here is quite a big body, and this is a tiny little body. And it doesn't match the head at all. Okay, can you see that head? That head is not this head here at all. So what I learned is that you're going to snip out this head because we don't need it. So you just go in right in that corner and take your paper snips and you're going to snip and you're going to snip and you're just going to cut that right out. Okay? We don't need that head. So those are the major tips, is that if you want to make this butterfly card, it has to be started with a 5x7 piece of cardstock. And then you want to cut out the head. Okay? All right. So that's that. And I'm just going to continue using the very vanilla for what I'm doing tonight. I'm casing this card as I showed you earlier. Oh, I closed my catalog. I shouldn't have closed my catalog. Right here. I'm going to case this, but this is in white. But I'm using the bokeh color, which is Calypso Coral, which goes very nicely with Very Vanilla anyway. So I'm just going to continue using the Very Vanilla. Okay, now, so what we're going to do is we are first going to do some stamping on this card here. And it called for fresh freesia. So I'm going to use this fresh freesia. I'm also going to show you a tip on lining up these butterfly wing details. Oh, I've already got them out. What did I do with them? No, I put them back. Okay. So you have these. Okay. Now, if you look carefully, they pair together. So how I identified the pairing was that on this side and this side, see, they pair together. That pattern is smaller than the pattern on the outside. So I'm matching up the little tiny pattern with the tiny pattern left and right. So they kind of look like footprints. Now, you could probably line it up this way, but it makes it wider and skewed out. So I think this worked better. And how I did it was I basically took them and placed them as if I'm stamping. I'm placing them on the wing. I'm going to zoom in a bit more. So I'm placing it on the wing, stamp side down. And you can twist it, try and make them even on there. You can go a little bit higher if you wanted to, because we're also going to add some dots on here. Okay, and then what I did was I picked it up. Let me just take off this birthday stamp. I picked them up with one block, both of them at the same time. Okay, and then I stamped them. So we're using fresh freesia here. Now, this is where you can decide, do you want to stamp off and stamp on? How do you want to do it? I'm not sure. Let me just grab this scrap piece of paper. I think I'll do these patterns. I'll make it in a lighter ink, and then when I put the dots on, I'll make it dark. I'll make it darker. So I'm going to ink these up, and then I'm going to stamp off, and then position them back on the wings. Okay. And then we're going to, now for the top wings, you have to reposition them because the wings at the top are spread out more. So I have to reposition these. So I'm just going to clean it. And I'm going to reposition these. So again, I'm kind of matching the patterns, and I'm going to figure out how they work better. So you're really bringing these closer into the center of the butterfly. They don't fit at the top of the wings. And I don't want them to overlap the butterfly edges. Okay, so those look pretty good. So again, I'm going to pick them up, ink them up, stamp off, and then stamp. Okay, so you get this butterfly pattern. Now, these would be gorgeous embossed in gold or silver. So that's another possibility that you could do. Okay, now there's another little stamp. It's this stamp here. This here. It just creates some little dots. So I'm going to do this in full strength, and you just stamp them randomly on the edges of your butterfly. You just want to fill in all of this white space. And I'm going to do some in the middle. Looks like the butterfly has chicken pox. Okay. So we're finished with the fresh freesia. So the next thing I'm going to do is cut out this butterfly here, okay? And I'm going to cut it out actually out of the paper. Now, I didn't show you the paper yet. So here's this gorgeous bokeh paper. So the colors that it comes in are Balmy Blue, Berry Burst, Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, and Fresh Freesia is on here as well. So the card looks like it's got the Fresh Freesia ink down here. And then I think it used the Daffodil Delight paper. When it's in here somewhere. Here we go. Okay, and some of the papers have different, a bit of a different bokeh effect. It's more like water droplets, in my opinion. So it's not bokeh on both sides. It's more like water droplets. Plus, it's a mixed color, which is great. It gives you way more options. All right, so that's what the reverse looks like. So we're going to do this yellow. And we're going to cut out this patterned butterfly here. We'll cut this out. So I'm going to cut that out. And then I'm going to cut out the body. I have a strip left over of the bokeh Calypso Coral, and it looks like that's what they used on there. Rather than cardstock, they used this, a bit of the patterned paper, just to give the body a bit more texture. Or you could do black if you want your butterfly bodies to look more like a butterfly. So let me cut this butterfly out. Now, unfortunately, Stampin' Up doesn't sell our straight vellum anymore, but if you have any vellum in your stash, vellum, it would be beautiful for this butterfly. So let me just poke out all these little bits. It cuts out beautifully. And depending on what side of the paper Look at that. That's kind of like fresh freesia and a bit of the calypso coral on there. You can get lots of different texture. So let me just dump this in my slip bin. Okay. All right, so this is going to be glued right on top of this butterfly here. And then let's cut out our body. Now I'm going to tape this down because it's a very narrow piece of paper that I'm trying to fit that body on. Okay, there's our little body. So remember, we cut the head off the butterfly so that we can use this little head. Okay, now this is very flimsy, this head, because it's DSP. So you could secure this by cutting another body just out of cardstock and then glue them together just to give it a little bit more strength if you're worried about that. Okay, so now I'm going to glue this butterfly down. So I'm going to use this bottle of glue because it's the most tiniest. Let's just get a few dots on here. So I'm kind of centering it on the body. And I find when I'm gluing down intricate pieces, I like to just put a sheet of paper on top and then rub it into place. Hi, Carol. We're making a butterfly card tonight. All right, so that's stuck down to our card. And now I'm going to glue down my little body. Let me use my tweezers again. Now, do not put glue on the head. The head hangs over. You just want glue on the body. That was another mistake I made last time. So you put it where the neck is. Okay. So that's that. All right, now we need a piece of, because this is kind of an open card, we need a piece of designer series paper underneath. So I'm going to use a piece of the Calypso Coral. So that's obviously not big enough. So let me go back to my paper pack and grab a piece of Calypso Coral. You get a lot of sheets of one color. And I really like the reverse for this. This is a bit too orangey. So let's use this piece here. And they left quite a border on here. So I'm going to measure this out. Let's see. That's 1/2 inch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to cut it 5 by 5 by 5 by 4.5. 5 by 4.5. 5 by 4.5. So 5 by 4.5. That doesn't look right, does it? That is so not right. What did I do wrong? That is so wrong. What is that? That's 3.5 inches. 3.5. You cut it down to 3. I don't know what the heck I did there. Okay, that's good. It goes edge to edge. Well, that I didn't count on that. I didn't measure for edge to edge, but now that worked out. That's great. Okay, that works. Okay, so we can glue this down to the inside of the card. And then I'm going to show you how to put a butterfly on the inside so that you could put a greeting. Where's my tape runner? Right here. Okay, so we've got that on the inside. Okay, now it's kind of hard to write in here because you've got the shape of the butterfly to think about. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to fix that. So I'm just going to use another piece of very vanilla. I could do white inside though, couldn't I? Yeah, maybe we'll do white inside. Okay, now the trick is I've got just a single sheet of white here, and I'm going to take this die and I'm going to place it at the top, and I'm going to place it at the top where the opening is. Okay, so I'm just lining it up right at the top where that opening is, like that. Perfect. So let's put some tape on there because I just want the butterfly cut out. Whoops, it shifted. Hang on, I'll be right back. Oh, goodness, it's giving me no end of grief here. Okay. I'm coming, I'm coming. All right, so single piece of cardstock. I'm just using our basic white, and I'm just getting the shape of the butterfly out. You see that? Now, the key here is because we cut the head off this on the card so that we could have the body's head and not this big fat head here, I have to cut it off on this piece too. So let me grab my paper snips. And again, I'm going in from the top and I'm just cutting the head off. You don't want to go down too far because this is what you're going to be able to write your message on. So just cut that off. Now here's where I made my mistake. So you want this, make sure you have the right side, because remember, I'm always telling you, dies have a right side and a wrong side. This is the smooth side. And this is going to go in here like that. Okay. Now it's pretty simple to position it in place, I think. You shouldn't have to, well, no, see, it's off kilter a bit. So the key is that you put this up here. So this is the edge, this is the side that you want on the inside. So you flip it up and you line it up exactly with the top image. Just line it up and hold it there. Okay. Just use all your fingers just to line it up. And then you're going to put some glue on this side. Okay. Every now and then this glue goes and then it stops. Okay, so make sure that's really well lined up. Okay, and then flip it back down. And hold it down. Okay, so there is your card basically. You flip it up and then you've got a butterfly on the inside, and then you can do your own hand message in there, or you could do something else in there. But that is your butterfly card. That's your basic butterfly card. Okay, now the other thing they did on this card is they did a time to celebrate. There's some nice greetings in here. Time to celebrate. In case you need me, I'm here. Hello, happy birthday, so thankful, and for you. I always like a for you. They're great for gift tags and stuff. So let's just do time to celebrate. And we're going to do some white embossing. And here's an interesting thing. We're going to emboss it on. We're going to emboss, let's see, will that fit on that strip? Yes, it will. We're going to emboss it on the pattern paper, not on a piece of cardstock this time. All right, so let's put this happy birthday. I don't want to lose this happy birthday stamp. Let's put that back in the case. Okay, so I'm going to get out my Versamark and my little powdered so rub that on. Then I'm going to place my stamp. No, I don't have to do that. It's clear. So I'm going to grab a block and I'm going to ink it up with our Versamark, which is our sticky ink. And then I'm going to get my head right over this. And now with greetings in photopolymer, don't press down too hard because it tends to splay out the letters and make them a bit smudgy. So don't press down hard. Okay, let me grab my white embossing powder. And we'll cover this up. I don't do this very often, emboss on designer series paper, but it can be quite effective. Just throw this down. Took quite a long time to heat up. This isn't the new embossing powder though. I bought them and I haven't started to use them yet, but I'm really tempted to just dump all my old, because this is a mixture of old. I just kept pouring in new stuff. And so it's a real hodgepodge of embossing powders. I should probably just dump it and put in the new stuff. I have a funny feeling embossing powders lose their power of heating over time. Okay, now I'm just going to grab my little paper trimmer and let's just cut this down. There we have our time to celebrate. Okay. And we are going to put this up on dimensionals, I think. Now, there's a few more things I want to show you. We're still under the hour. Oh, I'm so thankful my technology is working. Some nights it just gives me, it's just testing my patience. Okay, so I'm going to throw this right across here. Kind of hides a lot of the butterfly, but that's the design. Okay, now, another thing I want to show you, the suite comes with this little container of sequins. They're meant for a shaker card, but you can be careful opening this. Oh my gosh, I opened one once. Oh my gosh, the sequins went everywhere. So they're just gorgeous. There's lots of different sizes in here. Now I'm going to show you my trick to doing sequins. Is number one is I'll take a spoon and I'm just going to put some out on my desk. Okay, and I'm going to grab, did I get one of those big ones? Yeah, I did. I have to turn it over. Okay, it's going to be fiddly. So now the other thing I can do is where's my take my pick tool? I can actually pick up some of these right out of the container. Oh, that's a bubble. That's cool. Okay, I'm just going to go with what. Those are kind of cool too. Okay, now let's put the lid on like right now. Okay, so I'm going to take my glue, which I should have put the cap on, but I didn't. So I'm just going to clean out the pipe. Now I'm just going to randomly put a few little dots of glue, and then I'm going to glue on the sequin. Now it really helps to use two tools. So I'm going to use my pokey tool to be able to hold it down while I lift up the pokey tool. Okay, so let's grab a couple more. I'm just going to put a little dab of glue. I'll do another dab of glue somewhere else. Okay, and then oops, there was two on there. How many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4. I need one more. So you have to have patience, and you have to be able to use two hands. There we go. That's probably enough. Just add a couple of these little sequins. So even though these are meant for a shaker card, you can use them on your cards as well. Okay, so there's your card for tonight. So hopefully those little tips will help you when you decide to make your own card. Okay, so I'll bring in the original card. I don't know if this is an okay card, being a bigger card, but there it is. Now, the other thing you could do is you can also make a card that is completely shaped like a butterfly. Okay, you can do that as well. You're going to cut, in other words, you're going to double up the cardstock. So you take the folded card. Let's just use another one of these very vanilla card bases. So now you would basically fold your card and you're going to cut right through both layers. So to make this card, we open the card and just cut the front. But this time I'm going to close the card and I'm going to position the die on here. And I want to make sure, see this here is a cut line. So you want to make sure that that's above the fold of the card. Otherwise it'll cut out the top of the card. So make sure that's hanging like that. So I suppose I'm going to just wrap a piece of tape around it. See. Okay, so now I have that cut line above the fold of my card. And then I'm going to cut this out. Just bear with me a second. Slipped out of position. And I'm going to run it through twice. And hopefully No, it didn't cut right through, so you might have to do it 3 times. Oh, some of it's coming out. Oh, no, it's working. Yay. Okay, so now look what you ended. No, it didn't cut quite through here. So you might want to run it through several times. I'm going to run it through again. And but you see, you're going to end up with, so I'm going to put the die back in like this. So if you're going to put it back in, put it in with the cut side facing you. Come on. And then fit it back into the die. Okay, so let's go die cut that again, and hopefully this will work. Yeah, hopefully that worked. It's still caught up on a couple of, yeah, it's still caught on something there. Anyway, lesson learned, just cut it several times through. It should work. You should be able to die cut through 2 pieces of cardstock. Oh, it's coming. I want to cut off the antenna. There we go, did it. Okay, so now you get a card like this. Isn't that cute? So you can either make a card like this, or you can make a card like this. Okay, now the other thing I want to show you is the embossing folder. So the embossing folder is really cool. Okay, so number one is the embossing folder is a hybrid embossing folder in that it can just emboss panel. Okay, so look at the beautiful butterfly. There's one large butterfly in the center. Okay, so you can emboss a whole sheet that features the largest butterfly in the middle. Okay, which is what I did on this card. This whole background is just this. Okay. Or you can take this die here, and on the side with the logo, this is actually where you are going to position the die. It has to be on the side with the logo. Get some of this stuff out of my way here. Okay, and it should kind of almost like snap into place. Okay, and then you're going to put your piece of cardstock on top, and you can decide how you want to position your cardstock. If you want the butterfly straight, it's on an angle, so then you want to put this on an angle as well. Okay, it should fit right in there. Okay, and now I'm going to cut out this butterfly, which is what I did for this one. Okay, you can just cut out the butterfly. The other thing you can do is you can stamp the butterfly, stamp this big butterfly, okay, on a piece of paper. So pretend we stamped it on here. And then you're going to line it up with the die. So you're going to look through here and see your stamped image in here, and then you're going to cut it out. And that's what I did with this butterfly. I stamped it first in Calypso Coral, then I sponged Fresh Peach or whatever, Pretty in Peach, no, not Pretty, it's Pretty in Pink. I forget the peach color. Anyway, I sponged the peach color inside, and then I cut it out, and it's embossed at the same time. Then I put some Wink of Stella in there. So that's what I did with that. So lots of possibilities here. I can't wait to make more cards. I haven't even used the smaller butterflies, but I hope my tips tonight really helped you if you decide to get this set. Let me know if you have it or if you've tried, or I'd like to know if my tips have been helpful for you. Thanks so much for watching. Let's pull my face back so I can say goodbye. There we go. So thanks for watching, and I will again be back on Monday for Mojo Monday, and I have another template. It's a really fun template. If you want to play along with me, I will send the measurements out ahead of time. It's just narrow strips of paper. So you can either do some really narrow strips of cardstock, or you can do narrow strips of designer series paper, and we're going to just create this card. This is a new layout for Monday morning. So thanks again for watching. You can share this video with anybody you know who happens to have this set. Hopefully my tips will help. And have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday morning. Bye, ladies.